You're not sick. You're crazy. You know that? You should spend the night in the hospital just in case you get any more of these dizzy spells.
They didn't ask me to stay, Steve. Besides, it's not polite to ask to stay yourself.
Polite? You tell me who the guy is who gave you the examination. I'll give you polite. Well,
he told me there was nothing wrong with me. He just said I was a little run down, that I needed to eat more, and that I should take better care of myself.
And get a little more rest.
It's a funny one, isn't it? Since that's all I've been doing since Chief Mallory suspended me.
What about this doctor? I bet he was young, right?
Yeah.
Right out of medical school.
He was young, so what?
What about Miles? I thought you had an examination with Miles today.
It wasn't definite. I told him that I'd come down and see him when I... Look, Steve, please stop nagging me. I'm not in the mood for this. I'm too tired.
You were going to say when you had some free time, right? You got all the free time in the world.
I don't like going to see doctors. Besides, I was fine. They didn't have to call a damn ambulance. I was feeling all right. My super just panicked.
Well, I'm glad he panicked. I think he did the right thing.
Steve, I was fine by the time they got there. I could have walked into the ambulance myself. They insisted on carrying me.
Deborah, did you tell this young doctor about your first fainting spell?
I don't know, maybe. I don't remember.
What do you mean you don't remember?
Steve, will you please stop picking on me?
No. So here you are.
What is this, my coming out party?
How are you doing, Red?
I'm fine. I'd feel a lot better if our friend here would stop worrying about me so much.
Well, I have got some news for you, my dear, that is going to make you feel even better than that.
What's that?
Your suspension's been lifted.
What?
That's right. Deborah can go back to work anytime she wants to. The chief just reinstated her.
You are the best medicine I have ever had. How did you find out about this?
The chief told me himself. I mean, I went over to, ask for some time off for the honeymoon.
Well, what did he say about that?
Hey, listen, there was no problem, man. I mean, he didn't even raise one of those bushy eyebrows of his. He must have been feeling in an awfully good mood today.
I wonder why.
Well, for one thing, the grand jury handed down that indictment on that guy you arrested, that Earl Stokes. Congratulations. I mean, and that was the first big indictment he's gotten since he took the job. You know?
Yeah, right. It was Deborah's job. She did all the work on the
Well,
case.
he's given her credit for it. I mean, that's the reason he decided to lift the suspension.
You mean I can go back to work anytime I want, right now if I wanted to?
Absolutely. It is official.
Hold it. Wait a minute. The only place Deborah should go right now is to bed.
Hey, what happened to you anyway? I mean, I heard you in the hospital. I got real worried.
How'd you find out about that?
Well, I went by your place,
Oh,
and...
yeah, my super. He's probably bragging to you how he saved my life, right?
Almost. But I called over to find out what your condition was. They told me you weren't even registered as a patient, and then I talked to some guy who said that you were down in emergency, but that you were doing okay.
All right, there you see, Steve. At least there's somebody around here who isn't pessimistic.
Well, excuse me. I'm sorry. Sorry for being so silly. Why, anybody can look at you and see that you're just a picture of health, right, Calvin?
Well, you do look a little washed out there.
Well, I didn't have a chance to put any makeup on. I didn't think to bring my purse with me.
Well, let me see. I'm trained for this. Are you, sure you're feeling good enough to leave here?
I'm fine. All I've got to do is walk out the door.
See what I mean?
I'm all right. I'm just going to go home and get some rest. That's all. And I'll be able to go back to work in the morning. I will.
Yeah, look, I'll go outside and see if I can rustle up a wheelchair or something.
Don't look at me like that, Steve. Come on. I'm going to be fine. I'm just a little weak. You know, I mean, you'd feel weak, too, if you had a doctor poking and prodding around on you.
Sure.
I'll tell you what, if I don't feel better in the morning, I won't go to work, okay?
Is that a promise?
Yeah.
Okay. Makes me feel a little better. I just want you to be all right. You mean a lot to me. Why, you're the only lady detective we have on the force.
Something tells me that Calvin's not going to find that wheelchair.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. Here, I got a better idea.
What do you do? No.
Oh, yeah, my car is right outside. Open that door, we'll sneak right out of here.
Come as a surprise to District Attorney Logan Swift. He predicted that the evidence against Earl Stokes was so conclusive that the jury wouldn't hesitate to hand down an indictment of first-degree murder. Stokes was arrested on the night of October 16th by police detective Deborah Saxon, who was called in to investigate the shooting death of his one-time girlfriend, Angela Cortez. At first, the residents of the apartment house at 1805 Riverside denied hearing or seeing anything. But Detective Saxon was persistent, and her persistence paid off, as one by one, each person stepped forward to testify. The time of the shooting was pinpointed. The time coincided with the time that Stokes was seen leaving the apartment building by several passers-by. No trial date has been set. In other news, the special prosecutor appointed by the mayor to investigate the municipal hospital scandal has submitted his first recommendation to City Hall.
Good evening.
Hey.
Mind if I come in for a minute?
Sure, come on in.
You.
But you're a little late.
Yeah?
Had a couple of beautiful blinds a minute ago, but they just left.
What a shame. I didn't even get to see him in the elevator or anything.
I heard your name mentioned on the local news show about the Stokes indictment.
Well, coincidences never cease. That's the very reason I came by this evening.
I'm telling you, I have a trial date already.
Better than that. I got a full confession.
You're not serious.
I am indeed. That's the effect that I hope the indictment would have. You saw the handwriting on the wall.
On his cell wall, you mean? Why don't you sit down?
Okay, for a minute. I think he's hoping that the judge will be lenient with him if he comes clean. See, there's been no plea bargain here. It's still murder one.
Oh, that is good news. And you managed to save the city a couple of bucks, too.
I wish all my cases were this easy. Unfortunately.
Tell you what I like about this case.
What's that?
There's a nice, clean ending. I like things with definite endings, don't you?
When they're in my favor, yes, I do.
One drink?
Wouldn't say no to a beer.
All right. Unfortunately, some people I know don't share my feelings for those clean endings.
Yeah?
A good example of that today.
Where's that?
At the office, I was going through the day's mail. I came across a letter from my ex-wife.
Oh.
Seems like she's tired of all that Riviera sunshine.
Thank you.
She's in the mood for a colder climate.
Really?
So she's coming to Monticello. It's Christmas. That's what she blames it on. She says she can't see spending Christmas on the Riviera.
Doesn't sound so bad to me.
Well, she spent all her childhood Christmases on a farm up in Vermont. You know, picture postcard stuff. Just not Christmas without snow on the ground, or sleigh rides, or a Christmas tree cut from the woods out and back.
Well, it doesn't sound so bad either, but she's not going to find that around Monticello. Besides, where's she going to stay? Oh, sorry, I asked.
That is the question, isn't it?
Where's her family?
Washington, I suppose. Her dad's still active in politics, even though he's retired from the Senate.
What exactly does an ex-senator do?
I don't know, but whatever it is, Senator spends all his time doing it. Well, I don't think they get along too well. She doesn't spend any time in Washington. She's usually getting on a plane going to one continent or another. Not a bad life.
For some people.
Of course, I know why she's coming here.
Not Christmas, huh?
It's because she found out about me, Logan, about my new job. We haven't been in touch for the past 5 months. I think she got a letter from her father. Probably told her about my appointment as chief of police here.
Think that impressed her?
Well, she always complained that I wasn't moving along fast enough to suit her. So maybe she thinks I've improved, wants to see for herself.
How do you feel about that?
Wasn't looking forward to spending Christmas alone, but I'd rather spend it alone than spend it with Ivy.
Give you a little note for It's a Small World book of coincidences. I know somebody pretty well who knows your ex-wife pretty well.
Really? Who?
Geraldine Saxon. She's an old friend of the Townsend family.
Of course. There probably aren't too many people in Washington Geraldine Saxon doesn't know.
Yeah, says she knew Ivy, is it, since she was yay tall?
Huh?
Seems to think that she is a pretty nice person.
It's no surprise. Most people feel that way.
It's strange, isn't it, Mike? I must have changed my will a half a dozen times.
Well, you've made only 2 major revisions, Geraldine. The rest have been changes of beneficiary, a codicil here and there.
There's a lot of history written in those changes, isn't there? When I think of all of the people who were my beneficiaries, who have gone before me, oh, my money meant nothing to them, of course. They were all very well taken care of in their own right. But still, it seems somehow unfair that I should still be here, sitting here in my lawyer's office, making yet another change.
Your last beneficiary was Kevin, of course.
Yes. My adopted Kevin. Well, there's no reason to sit here and brood about the past or those people who have gone. You can miss them and mourn them, but you can't bring them back.
Better to be concerned about the living. And obviously that's why you came to see me.
Yes, Mike, it is.
You're going to name a new beneficiary.
That's right. The truth is, I'm almost afraid to name him for fear it might, well, prove bad luck for him.
I don't believe that for a moment. And I'm sure you don't either.
No, of course I don't. I'm just very gratified that I have someone to name as beneficiary. Someone I care about. It's Logan's child. I'm sure you must have gathered that by now, Mike.
Yes. Something told me it was going to be your grandson.
That's right. My grandson, Jaimey Swift. Mike, my charity bequests will remain the same. But Jaimey will be my principal beneficiary.
With Logan Swift as executor?
Exactly. But you must make absolutely certain that his mother doesn't... Well, I'm sure there's no reason for me to worry about that. Raven has her own fortune. I can't see her depriving her son of his.
You needn't worry. We'll construct the will in such a way so that no one can deprive Jaimey of his inheritance.
You know, Mike, Logan has given me a wonderful opportunity. Oh, not just to be a doting grandmother, but to be something even closer than that to this child.
It's meant a great deal to you, hasn't it?
At the moment, it's the only important thing in my rather dull life.
I doubt if your life could ever be dull. Didn't you just go back to Washington, probably to make absolutely certain that your candidate will be nominated as president next year?
I'm afraid I lost my power base a long time ago, Mike. No, my visit was social, not political. As a matter of fact, I have the vague suspicion that some of my old friends there are beginning to think of me as that boring old lady.
Impossible. Anyway, your real old friends are here in Monticello, including a couple named the Carrs who haven't seen you for quite a while.
Well, I'm going to do something about that as soon as I finish my babysitting chores.
Well, I suppose you do those quite often.
Well, Mike, I try to get Logan out of the house as much as possible. He's coming out of his daze very slowly.
No wonder. He took quite a few blows in that battle with Raven.
Well, it's time he forgot about her and began providing Jaimey with something more than a boring old lady. It's time he found that child a new mother.
I'll need at least another 20 or 30 of the red ones. What do you call them?
Oh, I just call them the red ones, lady. Never you mind the fancy names. And what else do you want?
Well, I'll need some more blue pills, too. About 50, if you can get them. Is that possible?
Yeah, anything's possible as long as you got the cash.
Oh, you need more about that. Well, let's see now. I plan to be home in about an hour. Can you be there then?
Sorry, Grandma. Listen, you'll have to meet me someplace else this time. I don't like doing business on your floor.
Why not?
Because you got a very nosy neighbor, you know. The fox who lives across the hall from you is a cop.
Oh, well, dear, it's so difficult for me to get around.
I'm sorry, just the same. I'm not doing any more business on your floor. Not next to Detective Saxon. You know, she's already laid one rap on me. To rap her a few times myself.
You sound like you don't care for her.
Are you kidding? I'd like to give that nosy redhead detective cop something she'd never forget. I hope you ain't friendly with her, lady, you know, because if you are, we can forget about doing business anyplace.
Oh, no, I'm not friendly with her. I really don't care for her myself.
Oh, yeah? What's your complaint?
Well, I don't like the type. Cheap little tarts. Think they're better than everybody else.
Well, maybe we got more in common than I thought, Miss Corey.
Yes, maybe we do. Oh, dear, I have to go now. But I'll try to come by the store later this evening for the merchandise. Bye now, Benny. Elliot!
Good evening, Nola. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm fine, thank you.
You look a bit flushed. I hope it's with excitement.
Well, I'm always glad to see you. You know that. Even when it's unexpected.
I decided to return your scrapbook. It was very kind of you to lend it to me.
I really don't know why you wanted to borrow the silly old thing in the first place.
Well, I wanted to look at all those lovely pictures. You know, you were even lovelier now than you were then.
You're a born flatterer, Elliot. And I love it, of course, but don't think you fool me for 1 minute. Would you like a drink?
Oh, let me fix it. You know, I don't know why I cannot convince you of the way I feel. How you appear to my eyes. You know, maybe it's because I've traveled so much, seen so many women in so many different countries.
And no doubt flattered them in 6 different languages.
You know, in Europe they appreciate maturity in women much more than in this country. And since I was born and raised there, perhaps that's why I feel the way I do.
And what way is that?
I just don't find younger women as appealing.
Yes. Isn't there any chance that you and Margot might reconcile?
No, I'm sorry. Even if Margot came to me on those proverbial bended knees, there's no way I'll go back to that gilded cage, Nola, no way.
But if you cared for her so much...
Now, whatever feeling I had for Margot is gone. Of course, I have another reason for feeling that way now.
Reason?
I'm afraid to say it. You might just say again that you flattered but not fooled. And I'd rather not hear that twice in one evening.
Elliot, are you trying to tell me that your altered feelings for your wife have something to do with me?
Oh, no. I don't say that if I had been still with Margot that this would have happened. As old-fashioned as it may sound, I still believe in marital fidelity. That probably shocks you, doesn't it?
You're right, it does. Imagine anyone having a good word for fidelity in this day and age.
Well, I still believe in it. That's why I can't particularly say that I like or respect your husband. I'm sorry, I think I'm really going too far now.
You really are serious. Or are you? You're just showing me how well you've progressed as an actor.
You turn everything into a joke, don't you, Nora?
Life is a joke, Elliot.
Life may be. But love isn't.
Love?
God, what am I doing? I promised myself that I would keep this as light as possible between us. For as long as I could.
Tell me what you mean.
No, I can't. I'm sorry. At least not until I knew... No, I can't ask you that.
Ask me what?
Damn it, I don't have the right to ask you a personal question.
What question, Elliot?
About how you feel towards Owen.
Owen and I are separated, you know that. And I don't mean just separated by distance.
Yeah. That doesn't really answer the question, does it? About your feelings towards him. If that torch is still burning bright, so bright that you cannot see anyone else, no matter how close they may be.
No, it's the wrong door. It's this one.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you could have put me down. I could have walked from the car.
Oh, no, I need the exercise. Yes, sir. Thank God it's only 7 flights up.
Have you fixed my lock?
Oh, yes. Wonderful. Well, here we are. We're about to cross the threshold. No obligation. Oh. Oh, let's see. Where are we going to wait? Hold it. Here we are. Oh.
Steve? Come on up here.
need this.
Miss Saxon! Miss Saxon!
Time to go away.
Yes, Mr. Bailey.
Can I come in for a minute?
Why not?
Hello, officer.
Hello, Bailey.
Mr. Bailey, I want to thank you for what you did earlier this evening. I mean, you didn't really have to call an ambulance. You know, I was perfectly all right.
Well, you know, I didn't want to take any chances. Oh, this is for you.
What is it?
What's this, the welcome wagon? Oh, look, food.
Well, Mr. Bailey, you didn't have to do all this, but thank you.
Oh, well, I didn't. I mean, it was her, your next-door neighbor, Mrs. Corey. She sent it up to my apartment with a note saying that it was for you in case you didn't feel like cooking for a couple of days.
Oh, that is so thoughtful. I can't... Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah, that's nice to have good neighbors.
You see, I told you there was nothing to worry about.